Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Paul Colgan, the Government Affairs person for the Home Builders Association of Greater Chicago. And I want to thank you for joining us. We have a great program today from the Illinois Housing Development Authority. They're going to go through their programs and what they have to offer to you as a home builder, as a lender, whatever you're doing on the development side. They have a variety of programs that work well. And it's a long list, so we just need to go through a few of the highlights today. And at this point, I want to turn it over. Well, I want to first say that our presenting sponsor today is Inland Mortgage, part of Inland Bank. And Frank Benetti, who's president of Inland Mortgage, is a member of our board of directors of HBAGC and also our treasurer. So he keeps close watch on our money. Thank God. But two people from his staff I have with us today are Betsy D'Onofrio, who is the CRA officer for Inland Mortgage, and Katina O'Connor, who is a construction specialist for Inland. And so at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Betsy and Katina to introduce our program today.
Thank you very much, Paul. Welcome to the presentation today. We're very excited to learn all about the programs that IHDA has. I feel very fortunate that we can learn not just about the residential side of things, but also the commercial side. Whether it's 300 units, 30 units, I'm ready to be educated. But we do want to introduce our team today from IHDA. They are Ed Jin, who is IHDA's Chief Financial Officer, Jack Wambach, the Assistant Director and Multifamily Expert, Nikki Fioretti, Director of Community Affairs, Brendan Kiley, who is the Director for External Relations, and Rosie Verdon, who is one of our account managers with the Homeownership programs. I'm going to hand it over and thank you very much.
Brendan, at this point.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to share my screen here real quick for you. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Great.
Well, may I say one thing before you get started, Brendan? I forgot to mention that as we go through this, those of you who are watching, if you have a question, please post it in the chat. And that way we can see it, Betsy or Katina can see it, or I can see it, and we can go to ask those questions. And I have lost the screen.
Yeah, I've got a spinning wheel. It should pop up now. There we go. Well, thank you so much for having us. It's great to be with all of you this afternoon. IHDA has been financing affordable housing across Illinois for over 50 years now. And that home ownership and rental opportunities and offering planning assistance brings jobs, investment, and economic growth to communities across the state. I'm really happy to have a bunch of people from IHDA joining me today. I give the view from 10,000 feet on our programs, but I've actually got the experts with me today to kind of go through them. So I'm really happy about that. And I hope this presentation goes well. Much of what IHDA does is behind the scenes, but our work is more pervasive than that. You probably have walked past an IHDA building several times in the last week. We're all over the state. IHDA was created by the legislature in 1967 with a clear mission to finance and create and preserve affordable housing. Kind of an interesting fact is that IHDA is a quasi-government agency. We are self-supporting and mission-driven and have bonding authority. The footprint on the state since 1967, IHDA has invested over $18 billion in federal resources. In 2020, our multifamily department created over 2,500 or preserved over 2,500 units across the state. Our single family side wrote over 5,500 home loans for first-time home buyers or buyers of homes that haven't had a home in the last 3 years. So I'm just going to kind of go into the core of what IHDA does. We have the multifamily financing department, our asset management department that oversees compliance for the projects that we invest in, our home ownership department, home modifications, repairs, community revitalization departments, and our housing counseling services. So at this time, I want to walk into our multifamily department and ask Jack to kind of give a little overview of that. So Jack, would you mind talking about multifamily finance?
Sure. So on the multifamily financing side, IHDA has a few different roles that we play. We are a lender, we are a grantor, so we receive funds both from the state and federal government that we grant to housing projects. And then we're also, and I think this may be our best known role at this point, an allocator of low-income housing tax credits. So in general, nearly all of our projects are public-private partnerships. So we use our resources in combination with private capital to produce quality housing. And in general, those housing projects are either owned by for-profit or nonprofit affordable housing developers. So like I said, we have a wide variety of resources available to us, both federal and state. So on the federal side, like I said, we've got the low-income housing tax credit, which can be bifurcated into both the 9% and the 4% program. And if individuals have questions on that, I can kind of get into more detail. We are an issuer of taxable and tax-exempt bonds. We're a first mortgage lender, and we actually have access through the FHDA to an insurance program called risk sharing, which allows us to leverage some low-cost capital. We are an allocator of home money, National Housing Trust Fund, the Illinois Housing Trust Fund, the Illinois Donation Tax Credit. And in general, all these programs are available to projects that meet certain affordable housing restrictions. So in order to be eligible, in general, you have to allocate at least 20% of your units to restricted affordable housing. The bare minimum to qualify for some of IHDA's programs would be 20% at 80% AMI, though most of our programs are targeted towards projects that allocate 40% of the units to 60% of area median income, or 20% of the units to 50% of area median income. And all that said, the vast majority of projects that IHDA finances are 100% affordable. And so since 1967, we've financed over 150,000 affordable apartments across the state, and we monitor currently over 100,000 units in 1,900 developments. Why don't I stop there, and then once we get through the remainder of the presentation, if there's specific questions on some of the multifamily programs that we run, I'd be happy to go into those.
Great, thanks, Jack. I'm going to go into the single family side of this now and ask Rosie to kind of talk about our single family home products that are going on right now. So Rosie, would you mind talking about?
Hi, yeah, good afternoon. So thank you. So IHDA, we do provide down payment assistance, and the down payment assistance can be used to pay for down payment, closing costs, or a combination. So IHDA also requires that all buyers attend home buyer education, which can be administered through a HUD-approved agency, NIS-approved agency, Fannie Mae Frameworks, or Freddie Mac Credit Smart. IHDA, we also provide a tax benefit to credit-worthy low moderate income families with the mortgage credit certificate program. Unfortunately, IHDA currently does not have any MCC funding. All IHDA mortgage products offer a safe, affordable 30-year fixed rate mortgage with an affordable interest rate. And we offer a range of down payment assistance options provided with a second mortgage lien. So the first program, Opening Doors. Opening Doors provides a flat $6,000 in down payment assistance, and it comes with a 5-year forgivable lien. So what that means is that if the buyer stays in the house, doesn't refinance, sell, or move out before 5 years, they do not have to pay back the $6,000. Next programs that we have are the Access programs. The Access programs are based on the purchase price. Access Forgivable provides 4% of the purchase price in down payment assistance up to $6,000, and it is forgiven over 10 years. Access Deferred provides 5% of the purchase price in down payment assistance with a max of $7,500, and this one is deferred for 30 years. Last, we have Access Repayable. Access Repayable provides 10% of the purchase price up to $10,000. And it is repayable, so the buyer is paying this one back on a monthly basis. So it is a second mortgage payment. So the Access Repayable comes with a 10-year term at 0% interest. Lastly, Smart Buy. So the Smart Buy funds have been exhausted, but this program came with $5,000 in down payment assistance, which was deferred for 30 years. In addition, IHDA also provided 15% of the purchase price up to $40,000 in student loan debt relief. And that was tied to a 3-year forgivable lien. So IHDA, we partner with over 130 lenders throughout the state of Illinois, and Inland Bank is one of our partners. If you're looking for a full list of our participating lenders, you can visit our website, and that's ihdamortgage.org. Thank you.
Thanks, Rosie.
Hey, Brendan. This
Yep.
is Ed Jen. Just one question for you, Rosie. On these mortgages, what are the income requirements? Are there any ceilings, or what are the averages there?
So we do have income requirements, and it's based on the county where the buyer is looking to purchase in. So for the Cook, Lake DuPage, Kane, McHenry, and Will counties, combined income of all the borrowers on the loan cannot be more than $111,840 a year. So $111,840. Then we also have purchase price limits. And again, for the Cook, DuPage, Kane, Lake McHenry, and Will counties, purchase price on a single family cannot be more than $330,000 to $235,000. And that's a purchase price, not a loan amount.
Rosie, one of the attendees asked for you to explain AMI.
So AMI is area median income. And area median income varies according to whether it's HUD AMI or IHDA AMI. So again, area median income. So it's the median income for whether it's the Cook, Lake DuPage, Kane, McHenry, and Will counties. Again, that's the area median income based on the income for those certain counties.
Another question was, do they have to be a first-time home buyer?
Excuse me?
Another question was if the client needs to be a first-time home buyer going for the mortgage with IHDA.
So all of our down payment assistance programs, first, they are available in every county in the state of Illinois, and you do not have to be a first-time buyer. You can currently own a home as long as you're looking to purchase your primary residence owner-occupied property with the IHDA funds. We do allow that. So if you're selling your current home and you're going to be buying your new owner-occupied property, yes, you can use the IHDA funds.
Rosie, one additional question was asking about IHDA DPA mortgages. Would you do them through community land trust loans? Do you allow them?
So right now we do not allow them through the community land trust. We are looking into it, and it has to do something with, I believe it's the leasehold or that piece of the community land trust. We are looking into that. Right now we don't allow it, but definitely reach out to one of us next couple of weeks, and I can get you a better answer. Any other questions?
I
Right, Rosie.
don't believe so.
Thanks so much, Rosie.
Thank you.
Sure. So I want to move over to Nikki now and our home modification repair programs. So Nikki, are you ready here?
Ready, Brendan. Good to see you.
Good to see
Heard
you.
you had a good trip to Rockford yesterday. Glad to hear we're
Nice.
doing some good work there. So we have a number of initiatives to speak to you about. Great to be with everyone this evening, and thanks for this opportunity. So as Brendan and Paul mentioned, I'm Nikki Fioretti, Director of the Community Affairs Department at IHDA. And at Community Affairs, we oversee a portfolio of programming, and it's all geared towards, think about it in terms of creating and promoting fiscally stable households and fiscally stable communities. And what does that mean? So we're business to business, and we may not fund the homeowner directly, but we fund the nonprofit organization or the regional planning commission or the counseling agency or several local governments around the state to help us execute with these transactions. So some of the programs we have, we award grant funds to local governments and nonprofits who oversee home modification and repair programs for households in their communities. For income eligible homeowners, seniors, and those with disabilities to modify or repair their homes to address life safety issues and improve mobility and improve their quality of life. Through our HAP, our Home Accessibility Program, we provide up to $25,000 in a forgivable loan to make accessibility modifications, including items like ramps, chair lifts, widening doors, things of that nature. Our SFR program, Single Family Rehab Program, which also has a roof repair component, provides up to $45,000 for a full single family rehab and up to, I believe it's $15,000 or $16,000 for a roof to make overdue home repairs, flooring, electrical, plumbing, any kind of life safety issues. So a very successful program. Next slide, please. We have several community revitalization programs. Just to touch on this briefly, we provide funding and support to local governments to tackle their most urgent housing needs. I don't want to read off the slides. You can read those, but I'll give a few examples. We recently created, through Governor Pritzker's capital bill, the Strong Communities Program, where we have $30 million allocated. We've just commenced our first round of $10 million. We've provided grant funds of up to $250,000 per local government, really to take blighted properties, vacant and blighted residential properties and communities, and turn them into assets in neighborhoods and put them back on the tax rolls. One really interesting statistic, and there are several, but a statistic that came out of the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland found that if a home is foreclosed, tax delinquent, and vacant, it can lower the property values by nearly 10% to homes in the proximity. So as we talk about these as housing programs, they're really economic development tools for communities and local governments. Next slide, please. Turning to housing counseling, Brendan knows me. I love a good statistic. I think it tells, like a picture is worth 1,000 words. I think a good statistic is worth 1,000 words. Before I talk about housing counseling, I'm sure many of you have seen this statistic as well. I saw it on CNBC, but there's just 39% of American households could pay for a $1,000 emergency event. So think about that. Car breaks down, medical emergency, only 39% of US households could cover a $1,000 emergency. That's pretty frightening. We all know knowledge is power. We all know for homeowners, your home is probably the largest asset for most Americans. But before you take that step to buy a home, how do you make sure that it's not only affordable, but it's sustainable? So IHDA provides housing counseling services. We have various programs. Ed mentioned one early in this call, but we have an array of housing counseling services where we fund housing counseling agencies around the state to make sure residents throughout the state have access to that knowledge and that financial coaching, whether it's for rental housing to make sure that they're a stable renter, maybe pre-purchase counseling if they think, gosh, home ownership is just outside my reach. Well, maybe sitting down with a HUD certified counselor, they can find out, we can help put them on a 3-year plan and use some of the down payment assistance that Rosie just talked about, help put them on a budget. Or maybe they're the homeowner that have been in their home for years, but due to COVID or other reasons, they went from a 2-income household to a 1-income household, and they're struggling and staying up at night, trying to figure out how they're going to continue to make a mortgage payment that they've been able to make for the last 7 to 10 years. We can connect them with foreclosure prevention resources and help them there. Very proud of this program and helping Illinois residents around the state with that. Next slide, please. Brendan, I think this is where I turn it back to you.
Absolutely.
Thank
you so much. So I just wanted to highlight this. We're currently, we ran a program in 2020 called the Emergency Rental Program. And we've run another one called the ILRPP. It's just wrapped up as of today, actually, and we're going to start another round of it on Monday morning. But just a little highlights. We received over 57,000 applications, actually almost 100,000 applications, and we've funded over 57,000. So that's $505 million that's been dispersed this year for renters to keep them in their homes. Payments were made directly to the landlords. Of these people that we've tried to help, over 88% of them were underneath the 50% of the area median income. And our average assistance for these households has been a little over $9,000. So that's just to keep people in their homes. I just wanted to highlight that. I know it's probably not important for everyone on this call, but it's one of the programs that we're proud of and we're running right now. And the next round starts on Monday. Coming in this spring, we have the 2022 Homeowners Assistance Fund. This is going to provide up to $30,000 in mortgage assistance paid directly to the lender for people that are behind because of COVID reasons. There's more details coming on this program. We hope to roll it out as soon as possible. We're waiting on approval from the U.S. Treasury. All 50 states are. We just got word that Michigan and I believe New York were approved to start their programs on Monday. So we're anxiously awaiting that coming. So that is about it. I just wanted to touch on some of our 2020 accomplishments, but I think we've hit all of these. IDA was awarded over $187 million in state and federal resources in 2020. That generated over $364 million in tax credit equity. And again, as Jack said, this is let us build or preserve over 2,500 units of affordable housing in 52 developments across the state. Our single family programs put out over $37 million in down payment assistance. Community revitalization, as Nikki was saying, over 6.6 million went to help municipalities and community development organizations secure or demolish abandoned properties across the state. We funded over $6.5 million to counseling agencies to help over 30,000 households last year. And our iRefi program that ended in 2020 at the very tail end helped 31 homeowners erase their negative mortgages or upside down mortgages and keep them in their homes. So we're really proud of kind of our 2020 accomplishments, and our 2021 accomplishments are ongoing and should be done soon. So hopefully to a better new year in 2022. So I just want to open it up. If there are any questions that anyone has, we'd be happy to try and answer them.
There's a few questions in the chat.
We have a number of
One is, how does a homeowner access grants at the local government or not-for-profit?
Great question, and I was remiss in mentioning that in my remarks. On the IHDA website, if you go to IHDA.org, IHDA.org, hover over the community tab, and under revitalization repair, we have a list of all of our local sponsoring agencies under both our single family rehab program and our home accessibility program. And please visit that from time to time. So those are the actual places where a resident would reach out to and apply, and there should be email and phone numbers for whatever part of the state that they're in.
Another question is asking if those, the home accessibility program and the single family rehab program, if they are loans that are repayable or are they grants?
They're forgivable loans. The concept under the rehab program, right? So we don't want someone to take the funds, rehab their home and then flip it, right? And profit from it. We want the benefit to go to that homeowner. But we understand life happens and sometimes people have to move. So for the full single family rehab program, it is a 5-year forgivable loan. And for the roof repair program, it's a 3-year forgivable loan. So stay in the home 5 years, it's yours free and clear. And it amortizes on a monthly basis. Great question, thank you.
Perfect. Is there a site that builders can utilize to help walk them through the process for affordable commercial funding?
That's a really good question, and one that I wish I had a better answer for. I mean, I think you can certainly go to IHDA's website, click around on the section about the low-income housing tax credit, because I assume that's probably what you're targeting, though we certainly have other opportunities out there. You can always reach out to me and I'll provide to Paul my contact information. And I think that actually reaching out to an individual at IHDA is probably the best place to start, because we can help guide you to the different resources that may work for whatever development you're envisioning. But I will say it's, especially if you're contemplating getting into the low-income housing tax credit world, it's complicated, and it's something that requires a lot of specific expertise and skill. And so there are, both nonprofit and for-profit partners out there that you can look to for training. Probably the gold standard is Novogradac. They're accountants by trade, but they do all sorts of training in the LIHTC world. So if that was something you were considering, becoming if you're already a developer but you're looking to dabble in affordable, they have lots of good information on their website. But yeah, so I think those are probably the best places to start. So if you're specifically looking at affordable housing, rental development in Illinois, come talk to us at IHDA, and we'll do our very best to help you. And then if you do need sort of outside additional training and resources, I think Novogradac is a great one. And there's another one that I'm trying to think of, NDC. They also provide commercial training opportunities, and they do a great job. So those are probably two outside opportunities for training.
Anybody who's interested also, there's posting in the chat is the links for IHDA, the URLs to use for IHDA Mortgage or IHDA.org. And then for the HBAGC, if you're looking to meet future business partners or future events, there's also their link as well. Jack, I believe your email Brendan put in there.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Sorry,
Anybody
Jack.
have any other questions?
Well, since we got extra time, I'm going to jump in and ask you to talk about the rental assistance program that's supposed to, the next round starts within the next week. If Brendan or someone else could address that, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. So the ILRPP2 program begins Monday morning at 9 a.m. I want to make sure I've got the website right. I've been saying it all day, and why I can't remember it, I'm losing my mind. Illinois, what is it? I'll put this in the chat too. Illinois Housing Help.
IllinoisHousingHelp.org.
That's it. Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome.
So this program is geared to anyone that's been behind on their rent since March of 2020. We will pay up to 15 months in arrearage and up to 3 months going forward for rental payments. It is specific to what is owed. Both the tenant and the landlord need to apply together, or they both can start applications, and we will pair the applications together. But they both need to be participating to participate in the program.
Now, this applies across the state, right? Chicago,
across all 102
suburbs.
counties. Yes, all 102 counties are eligible. There are income limits. You have to be at 80% of the area median income, or the AMI again. And there is a caveat for people that are unemployed more than 90 days or below the 50% AMI. They will get a preference in the order of payouts.
How much money has the state given to housing providers on behalf of their tenants?
In our last round, we're just over 550 million as of this morning.
Wow.
There's a press release coming out, and this round we're projecting to have between 250 and 300 million. We're working with a couple of counties that have received a direct allocation as well, but have asked us to run their programs for them. So that's why our number is kind of bouncing. We know IHDA is receiving exactly 250 or a little over 250, but we have several other counties that are coming in with us. So we're not sure on the exact amount at this time.
And if anyone's interested, Brenda, just to add, on our IHDA website, we have a whole section dedicated to our coronavirus relief efforts. So any data sliced and diced in many ways, feel free to take a look.
And I'll just add, for the folks that don't talk in AMI all day, for example, in the Chicago area, 80% of AMI for a 4-person household is about $74,500. So just to kind of put it in more real terms.
Okay, well, I guess if there's no further questions, Betsy or Katina, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Sure. I would just like to add that Inland is an approved IDA lender, like we had said earlier. We have been doing IDA for years. I myself have been probably doing IDA loans for the last 35 years. I was 12 when I started, but anyway, we are happy to facilitate any kind of relationship between the builders and IDA, or any builder that has a client that is interested in maybe talking to us about an IDA option as an end loan for somebody where they've finished the house and they need financing to pay off the builder. We'd be happy to do either one, but we have a long relationship with IDA, and it's been wonderful. So we would be happy to facilitate that.
Okay, again, well, thank you, everyone. Thank you to Inland Mortgage for being our presenting sponsor today. And I thank everyone from IDA for joining us. We've put Jack's contact information up there, but for anyone else who wants to contact anybody that was on this program from IDA, let me know. And I will make sure that we make the connection. I also want to make note that Pat Cardoni, our Chicago chapter president, joined the call after we got started. Pat is a custom builder in the city of Chicago, and I just want you all to recognize him. And I had Chantel put in the chat a link to future HBAGC events. We've got a couple holiday events being put on by our associates. One tomorrow, another on the 16th. We've got a unveiling of the monogram showroom at Ferguson. And on the 16th, Terrazzo Tile is hosting a holiday wreath auction in Wheeling. And then also for the home builder members, save the date for January 29th. We are going to be putting on a casino night. But again, thank you everyone for joining us today, and appreciate it. And we will be in the future, if there are other programs of IDA that we feel that we would be of value to our members, we'll be reaching out to you, Ed, and your staff to put on the program. So before we leave, any other last questions?
Oh, can I make a comment on this? I've used IDA a ton in the past. I used to run a $7 million line of money that we used to buy and sell and gut and resell homes, and we did credit repair free for clientele. About 650 homes in probably 13 years. It's an incredible asset to help get things closed, especially in markets that are very hard hit by any sort of economic downturn. I'm interested in this roofing program and stuff. I would think, Paul, we could probably find, see if we got some roofing contractors. I don't know why they wouldn't try to use this and try to rack up more sales per year if they could use IDA to help them when they identify clientele that need help.
Yeah, and we have a list of all of our sponsor agencies on our website. If you can't find it in 30 seconds on the website, Paul's got my contact information. Please reach out to me anytime. I'll help you navigate and show who our participating sponsor organizations are presently.
Yeah, appreciate that.
And we have a few other rehab type things kind of on the drawing board too. So what we have today isn't necessarily, just to
we're
start
all friends
establishing.
with Frank. Is there anything you guys need from us? Is there intros to aldermen? Anything you need to try to help move your programs along? I know Ed, who's on the call, I can see him. He knows lots of people downtown as well. Is there anything you guys need?
Yeah, I think it would be great to get some introductions into the neighborhoods that could really benefit from the programs. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can get you to Alderman Sawyer and a few other ones if you want. So just let me know if you guys want to shoot me an email. Ed, how about, what do you got? You've got some guys downtown as well, I know. Ed Hoffman.
Yeah.
Microphone on?
Well, Ed Hoffman, not Ed.
Yeah, Ed Hoffman, yeah, not Ed Jen. Ed, you got any guys you want to go see?
I think from one thing that Paul, you and I spoke about this, some of the work that you've been working with home builders on, specifically in Inglewood, That was very interesting.
Yes, I'm trying to now look at the South Chicago neighborhood as well. I've got some people looking at some opportunity down there. So and we're
Paul's
trying to do our best to encourage home development and home ownership.
Paul's trying to do a similar thing that I did commercially for years, which is basically create homeowner desire and then fill this in. I mean, and I think the problem that Paul's having in getting launched is that he needs startup funds to get 1 or 2 homes rehab so that he can dangle those out there. This is how we did it. We dangled them out there as finished products to show to people who are first-time buyers or people who would use IDA, and encourage them to put in mortgage applications and get the ball rolling. I think that's Paul's biggest thing. Now, I don't know, Paul, you're starting a non-for-profit for that, is that correct?
Yes, we have a not-for-profit that we are in the process of refocusing, and we'll have a new mission statement for it here in the near future.
Is that anything IDA could help Paul with?
Well, yes, there are a variety of programs. It's really going to depend upon who our partner is, whether it's a owner occupant, developer builder. There's a lot of different ways that we can access. One of the things that concerns me is that certain programs with the city of Chicago have to go through the land trust. And if IDA programs cannot help those people, that's a problem. And I don't know if that can be remedied or not, but I'd love to have the conversation with Ed and others about that. Transfer those to a not-for-profit. I mean, you're saying it has to go through the land trust for it to be donated, correct? Well, no, the ARO, the Affordable Requirements Order of the City of Chicago, requires certain home ownership opportunities to be put into the city land trust with a restrictive deed on it. It's a 30-year restricted deed. And what I heard here is that those homes may not be eligible for some of these first-time home buyer grants from IDA. Is that correct, Rosie, or am I misinterpreting what your remarks were?
So no, correct. We have been looking into it, and definitely reach out to me again. But right now, the City of Chicago, the Land Trust, is not one that can be combined with the IDA down payment assistance programs. But you know what, Paul, I'll give you my email and definitely reach out, and I'll look into a little bit more to see if we've gotten any further on that discussion.
Okay, and I just had a call here before this meeting about city lots that are sold for $1. There's no restriction on your programs for anyone who wants to buy a lot, build a house, correct? Because none of those go through a land trust.
So it depends on how is it an ARO again for the city lots for city living, or do you know how they're setting that up?
This is not tied to the ARO. These are city lots that are available now. And I just got a call from a woman in South Chicago looking at lots down there, trying to help. She's a realtor trying to help people buy and build homes on these lots. And she was just looking for help and direction on that.
And do you have a copy of whether it's the recapture agreement or the deed or a mortgage? Do you have a copy of that yet, or?
I don't know, but I'll ask for one.
Hey, Rosie, it's Frank. We're actually working with a builder right now that has already acquired a number of these lots, so I can follow up with him or maybe put you in touch with him, and he can give you maybe a little bit more detail.
Perfect. And Frank, you have my information, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, let me know, and then I'll get a hold of him and see where we're at with that. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Cardoni. You've gotten a good discussion going here. Appreciate that.
I was just trying to get some money for the gambling night.
Well, I think the home building industry is a big gamble. Thank God there's people like IDA that can help guarantee those loans. But
Paul, I really think this would help apply better to things that are existing, because new construction costs are so exorbitant right now.
Right.
Well,
that's like the program that Nikki was talking about. The rehab program is one that we need to learn more about and do our best to help promote it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think you should do some dog and pony shows on that, combined with these folks, and see if you can get some stuff to go around to, automatic boards or whatever, and see if you can get some interest going.
So
that might help you get your, development that you want to do in terms of helping with, affordable housing.
Yeah, for those of you, and I, this is one of the dangers of getting your association officers on a call like this. They start giving you direction and work during the call.
Well, you woke me up to get on the meeting. I'm just kidding.
Okay, any other questions from the audience? Anybody else have anything? Well, again, thank you very much. We'll look to do this again in the near future. Maybe we'll do something a little more focused on the rehab. But I appreciate the turnout when we had from Ida, Ed, Jen. I appreciate you organizing all this, and thank you all who attended. And again, another thanks to Inland Mortgage and Frank and your team. And
Thank
so
you.
everyone have a good evening. Thank you much for joining us.